Hello fellow fandom searchers, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, even though I highly doubt that you are here for the first time, especially given what we are watching today. So, a little change from the usual content you see on Mondays. Today we are not going to be watching openings, but due to surprisingly popular demand, I will be watching endings for Attack on Titan. So, I honestly didn't expect so many people to want reaction to endings, but hey, who am I to say no to that? So, yeah, we will be watching endings. Honestly, if the endings are as good as the openings, then I have absolutely zero complaints already. Also, for those of you who were looking forward to the actual reaction on Attack on Titan, good news! I will be starting them this week, probably on weekends. So, I think I will be recording the first two episodes either today when I'm recording this, or just in the very near future, and you can look forward to the reaction on the first two episodes on Saturday and Sunday. So that's going to be for the organization of today's video and the following week, and let's get into it. Alright, ending one. By the way, I unfortunately didn't manage to find a video with the subtitles, so yeah, it's going to be without them, and I will just check out the lyrics when I get to it during the reactions, like actual reactions on the episodes. So, let's go. I love the piano. I love the contrast between the openings and endings. I know I say it all the time, but you can actually hear it like really well in this. I love the vocals in this. Like the piano and the vocals. Awesome. Okay, this is exactly what I was talking about last time when we were watching the Fire Force openings endings. Is the sheer difference between opening and ending, when the opening is there to lure you in, let's say, and to say, hey, this is what you are supposed to be looking forward to. This is the action, this is what you will see, and this is what you are supposed to be excited about. Where the endings are there to calm you down, and in this case, I would say tell a story. I don't know what the story is because I don't understand Japanese, but I'm sure there is a story to be told in this, especially with the guy is Eren, and I'm pretty sure the girl is Mikasa. So between the main characters, there is some sort of story, especially with the knives and the fact that she was walking among them. There is a story in this, and I like this. And even the change of art style when the openings are usually the art style of the anime itself, the endings usually go for the more cartoonish and hand-drawn style, and it looks really good. So this is the similar case as was Overlord, for example. So far so good. Alright, ending 2. Again, keeping up the trend from the openings. Completely different style from the first one. So now that I think about it, maybe it's better that I don't have the subtitles on, if there are stories to be told. That I'm not going to be spoiling myself further than from what I already know. But I still go for the much softer sounds than the openings. This part is familiar. That last part was really familiar. I think I've heard it before somewhere. Again, completely different style than the first one, as were the openings, which were completely different. Each of them was completely different. And it seems like the endings will be keeping up the trend, which is fine. I'm okay with that, more than okay with that, to be fair. But even though they were going for much faster and more like action inducing sound now in the second opening than in the first one, it still holds the thing when the endings are still there to settle you down after a episode full of action, which I suppose Attack on Titan is going to be. So even though it was much faster, it still held onto the softer vibes than the openings, which, yes please, we like to see the contrast. I talked about contrast in the last reaction on Attack on Titan on the openings. So, in case you haven't seen it, it's going to be up here. Alright, ending 3. Again, completely different style. Now the guitar is the prime. Oof. Speaking of contrast, the images and the sound don't go together at all. Which makes it even more interesting, to be fair. Again, the contrast, not only between the opening ending, but in this case, an incredible contrast between the music, which and the vocals overall. I'm not sure about the text, so I'm going solely by the sound. And the sound and the visuals. Like, it's like this. And it's a really interesting choice because based on the music alone, you would expect some, I don't know, maybe like we've seen the big three, which seems to have some prominent role in all of this, and maybe some visuals of the whole, let's call it city. I'm not sure if it's city or some state that's just walled over. And instead, you get the images of the titans going after the people and devouring them, if that's what it was. I'm pretty sure it was. And just the sheer contrast in that, when you expect some calm and, I don't know, still images, let's say, with maybe the main characters in the visuals, but like still images of the city, of some remaining nature, and of the main characters, and instead you get this. But it's great. I love it. Makes it unsettling. It's always this kind of contrast between the sound and the visual that makes it even more unsettling for our brains. It's a cheap trick on our psyche and mentality, but it works. Alright, ending 4. This was the opening with them as kids, right? If I remember correctly. That was the only one with that kind of imagery and visuals. Was the slowest opening. Okay. I love the combination of like male lead vocal and the child core in behind this. It really fits the visuals in this case. Again, contrast. It's always about the contrast. In this case, the visuals fit more into the vocals and the sound, but it still makes you feel a little on edge. I'm not sure if it's the bells in it or if it's the combination of the male lead and the child core, because something about it just makes you feel slightly on edge, and it's not the visuals, it's the sound alone, and also the combination of the visuals and the sound. I think it's the jingle bell or whatever the bell that was in it that's making it seem like this should be something really happy, but it's not. You know it's not, even if you are not too familiar with Attack on Titan as a story. but just based on the sound, you would expect something really happy and cheerful and just good times. And then you get the visuals. And it's not so cheerful. And it's not so nice. Even the sunset is like, especially after everything that came before it, the sunset doesn't feel calming at all, but instead, like, it's almost like it's laughing at you. After everything it shows you sunset, which is usually a portrayal of calm, peace, and serenity, because ask people and many will tell you they love sunset because it's the time when the busyness and rush of the day calms down and everything is preparing for the night. So it's supposed to be calming and peaceful, and in the end it's like it's laughing at you or even believing that there could be any peace and calm. All right, ending 5. Okay, kids again. I love the piano in this. Okay, this one was visually very much what I expected from a first ending, but hey, it's the 5th one. I guess we will be going more into depth of the character relationship in this part of the story. Maybe. What do I know? But yeah, just showing us the interactions, even though they are still the interactions between the characters we will be seeing, is a interesting choice for a 5th opening, where I suppose many of them are going to be dead. But hey, but it's a nice insight into the whole relationship between characters and in a big group of people, which, if you follow me for a bit longer, you know I love that. I love to pick apart the relationships in a big group of people. So that's something for me, and I'm looking forward to that in this case because the cast is also pretty big. Anyway, back to the ending. As I said, it's an interesting choice of visuals for an ending that's so far into the story. Because this is season 3, I think. And I wonder where the contrast is going to be. Again, I think this is going to be contrasting the fact that a lot of people are going to be dead already at this part of the story. But overall, just showing the triumphs of the whole group and, well, especially Eren because he's the main guy. But showing the triumphs then showing what I suppose is a funeral, solely judging by the characters crying or some of them crying, and there being a fire somewhere outside the frame, judging by lighting. I think that's going to be the contrast here, because this whole show, the openings and endings are all based on contrast, which is important. As I said, I talked about it before. And the triumphs and death are sharp contrasts, and it's working really well. It's no accident that many writing advices tell you that if you want to hit your reader in the gut, it's to show the main protagonist, which the reader is supposed to root for, or any character, basically, to achieve or almost achieve their goal, and then take it away from them, and then kill them. It's not an accident. Like, it really hits you in the gut as a reader. So the contrast and the whole thing of triumphs versus death and loss is amazing thing for storytelling. So I'm expecting that here, just solely based on the ending here. Alright, ending 6. Okay, it looks like a city. Small city. Oh. Okay. The little bells in the background. That's so good. I will come back to it later. I wonder if that was Phoenix imagery. Like actual Phoenix or just burning bird. It's not the same. Ooh. Okay. Okay, honestly, I wasn't paying that much attention to the visuals because there wasn't that much of it. But the music, like, goddamn, that was really good. Because at the beginning, there was a... I'm not sure if it's bell or a triangle or something like that. Something ringing. And it's at the very back of the sound. Like, you barely hear it, but your brain hears it. And it's that sound that makes you unsettled. It's usually used in thrillers and horror music for movies. It's the light tingling and ringing, which you barely hear it when you listen to the whole thing or the whole OST. But your brain hears it, and it sends out an information that there is something unsettling to your body. And I love that, because if you use it correctly, then you don't even need like jump scares or anything like that to just not necessarily freeze, but you feel it. You feel it that there is something going on, something is wrong, and you can't pinpoint it. You can't put your finger on it, but you know something is wrong. And it's this exact sound that does it, and it's amazing. Same thing or very similar thing is happening at the end when there is a slight dissonance in the vocals, and then under that is a slight dissonance with, I'm pretty sure it's violin, but there is the slightest dissonance, and again it switches on your brain and tells you, hey, pay attention, something is wrong. You don't know what it is, but something is wrong. And I love it. Amazing work on this one, musically speaking. Alright, let's end this in a style. Ending 7. Again, going for piano. I'm thinking if it's a flute or erhu, but I don't think it's erhu. It's some kind of flute. The Caged Bird. Very good work on this one as well. This one was amazing. And indeed, we ended up in a style. This one was incredible, both sound-wise and visual-wise. The Caged Bird, that's trying so hard to... I'm pretty sure it's supposed to represent Eren since he was the one in the ending. The bird just trying to soar to the skies, but being unable to do that because there is a cage that's holding him in place is a amazing imagery for this feeling of being trapped somewhere. If it's a place, time, mindset, your own body, you just feel like you are trapped, and that's exactly what the Caged Bird is representing. No shit, Sherlock. Anyway, I was going to talk about the very beginning again. I think it was some kind of flute at the background, but that's not actually what caught my attention. There was a little sound that I picked up on at the very beginning. I'll try to catch it again. Actually, it might be some string instrument, not a flute. Now that I listened to it for the second time. Maybe that's why I first thought it was erhu, but... If anyone knows what kind of instrument that is, let me know. I'm curious. Yeah, the whistling. If you are not like entirely focused on the music alone, you can miss it. But again, it serves the very same purpose as the jingling, the bell in the previous case. These high-pitched noises are all the same and are used to make you feel unsettled and just keep you on edge. Even though when you don't feel it like physically, it switches on your brain into a slight alert that something somewhere is going to happen, something somewhere is wrong. And it's always those high-pitched, barely hearable noises and sounds that do that. And it's an amazing piece of sound architecture. So I'm very happy that we are hearing it here. Because honestly, yes, this series is going to be unsettling. I don't have to even know the story itself, like fully, to know that. This is going to be unsettling. So yeah, I'm very glad that they are going into it with the endings. If not with openings, they are going into it with endings. And I love that. So, final discussion. Okay, first of all, thank you all who suggested I watch the endings as well. I am grateful for that because I probably wouldn't watch it on my own. And I am glad that I did because the whole endings are perfect for me because I don't have to focus on the action there and I can just enjoy the music in it. And these ones are really good. I'm not going to go over them because I said my bits during the reaction itself. So I'm just going to say that if the openings made me really excited, the endings are making me really worried about this series. Like in a good way, in a really good way, that it's not the worry that, oh geez, this is going to be bad. Like, yes, it's going to be bad, but I'm excited for it. And I'm very much excited to start on the series itself. I was putting it aside for a really long time, and I think it's time to go into it and just face the fear and pain that this series brings. So that's going to be an interesting one for sure. I will try to find the endings with subtitles sometime later. But as I said, I am maybe more glad that there aren't any and that I don't really understand the words in it because you already accused me of knowing too much, okay? When I did the openings reactions. Which is not true, by the way. And I already forgot everything that happened in the opening. Because my attention span is of a goldfish and memory is on par with that. So maybe I'm glad that there weren't subtitles if there really are stories to be told, which I suppose they are. So yeah, I will just be checking out the lyrics throughout the reactions and throughout the series itself instead of watching it right now, in case there were some spoilery stuff. Or, like, I say spoilery stuff, okay, I'm not dumb, okay? I can think of things. So, I can put two and two together to some extent, even though I don't really know the full context. And yeah, I am not going to be arguing with anyone in the comments again because I don't have mental capacity for it. Like, comments are good, but honestly, really, why are you watching the reactions when all you have to say is that I know too much? Reach into your own conscience and give me a break. Anyway, again, in summary, I am very glad that I watched the endings. I am very glad that I am finally going forward with watching Attack on Titan, even though it's going to hurt. I know it's going to hurt. So yeah, thank you for watching along with me today. If you like the reaction and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For one, it will make me really happy, and for second, you won't miss the start of me watching Attack on Titan this week. and overall. Leave a like, leave a comment. Again, please take care of not leaving spoilers in there. And see you next time. Bye bye.